T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Ignition's full power and liftoff. Go Falcon, go NASA, go Crew-11.
Together we rise as NASA's SpaceX Crew-11 heads up to the International Space Station.
Vehicle is pitching down range.
1.7 million pounds
Stage
of thrust.
propulsion is nominal.
Propelling Falcon 9 as the vehicle pitching down range and making its way up the East Coast, and will soon join Expedition 73 aboard the orbiting laboratory. So far, getting good callouts on that first stage performance.
We are now T plus 35 seconds into the Crew-11 mission on board Dragon and Falcon.
And we are watching what looks to be a successful blast off there for a NASA crew headed on a SpaceX rocket to the International Space Station. They're expected to spend 6 months at the ISS, and astronaut Charles Camarda is here with us to walk us through a little bit about what happens behind the scenes here. So, Charles, what are you thinking as you watch this blast off?
I think it's great. I'm excited. My classmate, Mike Fink, is on board. He was in the astronaut class with me in 1996. This will be his 4th mission. Hopefully, super successful mission, 6 months in space. It's what every astronaut dreams of.
So, Charles, I find this really interesting. Since they launched today, the trip is actually expected to take a lot less time than if they had launched yesterday. So they're actually still expected to arrive at the ISS around the same time as originally planned. How does that work? Is that like when the pilot says we're going to make it up in the air when your flight's delayed?
It's all an orbital mechanics thing, Diane. So it depends on where the space station is at that point in time, because it's constantly going around the Earth every 90 minutes. It just so happens, and that's very interesting, it's going to arrive the same time tomorrow, approximately 3 a.m. in the morning.
So how delicate is this whole process? Every time you have to scrub a launch and replan everything, what goes into all of that?
It's all done automatically. It's all done by computer, and the replanning takes place accordingly. You know, it's instantaneous for this particular vehicle, very narrow window. And so if it doesn't launch, they immediately replan for the next day.
They're going to spend 6 months, as I said, on the ISS. What are you hoping to come out of this with what they're planning to study there?
Well, they're doing some really interesting research in stem cell research, plant cell division, liver, actually regenerating a liver in space, basically growing tissue in space. So this is right up Zena Cardman's wheelhouse. She's a biologist, a marine biologist. So she's going to be having fun. If she's a researcher like me, she has fun doing these kinds of things.
And I can't help but think of Sonny and Butch, who went to the ISS and for what was supposed to be a few weeks and ended up there for months. Do you have any fear in going into launches like this that maybe the trip out there goes according to plan, but not so much the trip home?
Well, you always prepare for the unexpected. Sometimes there are unknown unknowns. For instance, we hit a bird on launch, and so we could have had to have performed a very, very critical, very dangerous abort to launch site. And so these unexpected things do happen, but you have a team on the ground, you have a crew in space, and you're working together to solve these problems.
So, Charles, what are you watching for next year?
What am I hoping for next year? I'm hoping that Artemis 2 is successful. I'm worried about the heat shield. I really believe they should have changed out the heat shield on that vehicle, and so I'm a little bit concerned. Artemis 2 is going to be a big event. We're going to have Reed Weissman and his crew circling the moon, coming back, and it's going to be a real test of whether or not they really understand that heat shield, unfortunately.
All right, Charles Camarda, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Diane.